the realizations of the rishis. Right? There you find many gods. Mahi, Bharati, so many gods, hundreds of deities you will find in the Veda. If you remember, the realization was the ultimate realization what I talked yesterday. Anyone remember? The final realization. Ultimate. Anyone remembers? Yes. There's only one truth which manifests in different forms. While the Veda shows us the phases of this various manifestation of the truth in the form of Indra, Mitra, Varuna, Vila, Saraswati, Mahi, Bharati, Marudana, Vayu, Rudra, Vishnu, so many. Upanishad is focused on that one. It calls that one single truth, absolute truth. It gives a name to. You know what is the name Upanishads are given to this single truth of which everything is a manifestation? They call it as Brahman. They call it as Brahman. I will explain you these words. In the Upanishads, you will constantly face the words like Brahman and Atman. Brahman and Atman. We will try to understand the meaning of these two words. But before that, our day today is dedicated to Mahakali. Mahakali is the deity of strength, heroic strength. You know? Upanishads, they tell us that the Atman and the Brahman have to be realized in life. The focus is on Atman. The focus is on Brahman. What is the connection of it? Connection of Atman and Brahman with the Mahakali, the strength, the heroic strength. Okay, we need to find out that. There's a very famous, very important statement in the Upanishad. The Upanishadic Rishi says, if our purpose is to realize the Atman, here we have written Swabodh. Upanishad uses the word in the same sense as Atma Jnana, understanding oneself. Atma Jnana, Swabodh, Swayam Bodh, Atma Bodh. These are the words repeatedly you will find in the Upanishads. Okay. If the purpose is understanding ourselves, the Atman, who can realize the Atman? Can a person with all weaknesses, shortcomings, limitations, realize the strength of the self? Yes or no? No. So if you are weak, if you are limited, if you have so many shortcomings, you cannot realize yourself, your own potential, the powers within. So that is why the Upanishad says, Nayam Atma, na, Ayam Atma, this self, Bala Hinena Lakshya, the one who is devoid of strength, devoid of energy, devoid of that heroic strength, is not free from all kinds of limitations and shortcomings and weaknesses, can never realize one's own self. This is where comes the Mahakali's form. So if you want to realize yourself, you have to be a hero for anyone else. By saying you, I'm also addressing myself. Right? So Nayam Atma Balaheenena Labdha. This is the mantra for the day that we have to keep repeating and then keep it imprinted in our consciousness throughout the life, reminding ourselves again and again every moment that Nayam Atma Balaheenena Labdha. Okay, repeat it with me. Nayam Atma Balaheenena Labdha. Once again, Nayam Atma Balaheenena Labdha. This self cannot be labdha, means realized. This self cannot be realized by the Balaheen, the one who is devoid of the heroic strength. So the message is that we have to overcome all our limitations, all our shortcomings, all our fancies, preferences, tendencies. No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to eat this. I want to be in this way, that way. I prefer this. I don't prefer this. My tendency is like this. As long as you are trapped by these statements, you are Bhagat, he, you're devoid of strength. The person with that heroic strength has no preferences. Today I have to sleep here, I will sleep here. Tomorrow I am given a royal treatment, it's fine. With that equanimity, I will be in every situation in the world. Then you are in a position to realize yourself. Other than say, oh, I don't want to make status. I don't want to. I want. All the times our, time is wasted, our energy, our time is wasted by getting into our preferences, our tendencies, our fancies, which really do not help in leading a beautiful life. So the Upanishadic rishis, they constantly, with all confidence, all conviction, they went and reminded us ultimate has to be realized. That is the sole purpose of life. If you are not, you are getting educated, qualified, all kinds of certificates, this happened, this, that, everything you have done right, great achievements, but you don't know who you are. What are your inner strength? So you just move with the movement, some kind of, vibe, you were inspired by some kind of vitality which helped you to achieve something, but it didn't create the real awareness what is needed to make the life good. It doesn't mean that you should do that, but you should never miss the connect with the Atma. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of this word Atma? What is Atma? What is Brahman? And the Upanishads, every Upanishad, see now what happens. When you talk about the Veda or Vedic Samhita, there are four important Samhita. Samhita means where all these realized words or whatever was seen by the rishis, they're put on a record, they're compiled together. This compilation is called Samhita. So you have a Rig Veda Samhita, you have a Yajur Veda Samhita, you have a Sama Veda Samhita, and you have it Atharva Veda Samhita. Okay, so you have four Samhitas. What are those four Samhitas? Rigveda Samhita. Say the full word. Rigveda Samhita, Yajurveda Samhita, Samaveda Samhita, Atharva Veda Samhita. Okay. So when you articulate it very clearly. Don't be in a hurry. Okay. Feel the rhythm of it. Rigveda Samhita, Yajurveda Samhita, Samaveda Samhita, Atharva Veda Samhita. Okay. So these Samhitas sometimes, and beyond the Samhitas, there are texts you will find. Again, these are the revealed mantras the rishis have seen. Those texts which are available to us today in written form, in published form, they come under the name Upanishads. Okay, repeat the word Upanishads. Okay, what does this word Upanishad mean? Like the word Veda, Upanishad has got three components in it. Upa, if you want to write down, you can write down. Upa is one component. Ni is another component. Short E, choti wali E. Upa, Ni. Then you have Sad, which is the root sound. Now, Upa and Ni, these are called prefixes. They are added before the verbal root. Prefix, prefixes. Okay. You have prefix which are added before the root sound. Okay. So you said gachati. Gachati means to go. Okay. You add a as a prefix, agachati becomes to come. So the prefixes they change the meaning of the words. Okay. Different prefixes have different meanings. Okay. So you say agachati meaning to come. If you put abagachati, it means to understand. If you say upagachati, it means going close, near to. Right? So each prefix adds a special meaning or emphasizes, adds emphasis, makes the word emphatic. Okay. The meaning emphatic. Or adds some other emphasis into the verbal root. Right? So here in the word Upanishad, you have two prefixes. Upa and Ni. And Sad is the root sound. Right? Now, anywhere in Sanskrit, you find the word Upa with any word. It has the sense of closeness, near to, okay, well connected, but mostly it is near, Upa. And wherever you find the prefix ni, ni means down, deep down, okay, deep down. Like it goes very much penetrated, it sinks down. That is the meaning of meaning. Sad is the root sound from which you get so many words. Sad means to sink, to settle. So it is the same root sound from it which you get the word asana. Okay. Sad. Sadma. You get the word sadma. Okay. Asana or asina also can be derived from the root sound as. As also means to place, to settle. Similarly, sat has the same sense of asana, which means to sink, to settle. So you get the word like satma. Vishada, Vishada means someone who has gone deep into a state of affliction, depression, dejection. So you say Arjuna Vishada. Arjuna was in a deplorable condition, fallen into that state of dejection. You say this is Vishada. Vishada means depressed. So you add V to it, it becomes Vishada, which means depression, dejection. And you add Pra to it, it becomes Prasad. Prasada means happiness. Vishada, the opposite of it is Prasada. Right? So tomorrow you will be introduced to the Gita's teaching. The whole Gita's teaching, if you see, it starts with Vishada and uplifts you and then makes you enter into the state of Prasada. So from Vishada to Prasada is the journey of the Gita. Okay. Or at the end it says Prasadam Adhigachati. It enters into the state of Prasada. Prasade Sarvadukhanam Hamirasyobayate. This is what the Gita says. That once you enter into the Prasada, the happiness, the pure happiness and joy, then all your miseries, all your afflictions, everything just subconscious disappears. Right? So here we have from the same root sound, upa, ni. So when you are deeply contemplated on your Atman, when that self-realization happens, there is a divine blessing, divine bliss, ultimate bliss, which comes close to your Atman and then sinks into your Atman. That is the state of liberation. Okay? When it happens, you say, wow, liberation. That someone is in a state of liberation. This is the deeper symbolic meaning of the word. There is a physical meaning also, where to do this, when someone goes near the Guru, Upper, and then sits down in front of him to learn this is also called Upanishad. So these are the twofold meaning. One is the deeper spiritual meaning, one is the outer meaning. Right? Outer meaning is like you are the Guru. I am coming near you, approaching you, and then sitting down at your feet to learn this Atma Vidya. This is also Upanishad. So that's what also you will find in most of the Upanishads. A Shishya, a disciple, is approaching the Guru and seeking knowledge from him, sits down close to the Guru because it's a secret knowledge which has to be whispered, transmitted in silence to the disciple. Yes. The spiritual meaning is like when this self realizes, so the divine energy, it approaches and then sinks deep into the self. So then the person becomes completely merged in that state of bliss. Okay. So that's what you say that it's a divine influx, the flow of divine bliss into oneself. And then one is completely bathed in that. That is the state of Upanishad. Okay. That's the spiritual, deeper spiritual meaning. The outer meaning is that you approach a Guru, go near the Guru, sit down at his feet, and then seek for that knowledge, and the Guru transmits that knowledge to you in various forms. So that's the meaning of the word Upanishad. And the content of the Upanishad is there are threefold things. Another name of Upanishad is called the secret knowledge which is the core content of the Upanishad is called Brahma Vidya. It's called Brahma Vidya because it teaches you throughout what is Brahma, what is Atma, what you are going to do with this Brahmanada. This is the whole content of the Upanishad. Oh, now what is Brahman? Say the word Brahman. Ah, say the way I'm saying Brahman. Yes. And just feel the rhythmic flow of Brahman. When you say this, there is a sense of expansion that you are expanding, you are stretching, you are coming out. Okay. That is what is the meaning of the root sound of Brahman. So Brahman comes from a root sound, Brahma. Say Brahma, Brahma. So Brahma is the root sound from which you get the word Brahman. So Brahma means to expand, to stretch. So Brahman is that all expansive entity, all pervading entity, which is the source of this creation. We all are the expanded and fragmented version of the Supreme Lord. Okay. That is why Brahman is in everything, every being, and every happening in this creation. Nothing is devoid of Brahman. It's so expansive that the word itself means expanse. Brahman means expanse. Okay. So when it expands, it also individualizes in the form of Atma. So the Brahman residing in each one of us, each conscious being is called the Atma. It takes the name of Atma. So how is the Brahman in me? The Brahman in me is in the form of Atma. That Atman is our core, our nucleus. How is it seen? How is it seen? Like if you, like the Rishi, if you contemplate, if you meditate, you will see yourself at the center of your heart like a flame, steady flame, smokeless flame, a blaze at the center of the heart. Angushtamatra Purusha Madhya Atmani Tishtati Jyotireva Aroma. I'll explain this. Angushtamatra Purusha. The size of that flame is not bigger than the thumb. Angushtamatra. Okay, not bigger than the thumb. Madhya Atmani Tishtati. It is at the center of your heart, center of your entire being, right? Jyoti river Adhumaka. It is a smokeless flame, eternally burning in every conscious being. Okay, in everything that is there in the creation. So that is why this is the Agni. This is the Agni, which is a flame in every one of us. And the realization of the self means like you merge into that flame and become that flame. Okay. So to do the discipline, follow the discipline, doing tapas is to feel the warmth of this, to feel the warmth of this. It is through that light you see everything. Atman is a thing that burns in all consciousness. And therefore, there's a story which I'm going to say. This is a dialogue between Yajnavalkya, say the word. Yajnavalkya. And he has this dialogue with Janaka. With whom he has this dialogue? Wait, listen to the story, then we will come for the discussion. So Yajnavalkya and Janaka, they are in dialogue. Yajnavalkya asks Janaka, how do you see things? Okay. So when we see things, we see things when there is light. In what light do you see things? He asked. He said, sun gives us the light to see. And if there is any other light, so it draws that light, that energy, or what gets converted into say, this light, that energy comes from the sun. Is the sun energy, solar energy, which gets converted into any other form of light. Or any other form of light draws their light from sun. Right? Now, this is suppose sun is not there. How do you see it? He says moon, somewhere there is sun, and it has its reflection on another. So that reflection, we call it say moon. So you see why so there. You see that there is a situation where sun is not there, moon is not there. How do you see it? What light is sun? You see, stars, see when Janak and Yajnavalkya are having dialogue, they are not in a closed room. They are in a forest. Okay. There's no artificial light. They talk about the nature. Right? So now, he said to the stars, at least stars become our direction, like this star, that star, we follow. And Yajnavalkya said, sun is not there, moon is not there, stars are not there, everything is clouded. How do you see? What is the light? He said, fire. Fire. He said, there is situation, all these things are not there, even the fire is not there. How do you see things? No sun, no moon, no stars, no fire. He said, then things will be seen only in the light of one's own sleep. The light which is burning within. That is why you have another expression, Atma Devo Bhava. Say, be the light of yourself. Be the light of yourself. See everything in the light of yourself. How beautiful is it? Right? So, see this is the kind of education was happening in Bharat centuries after centuries after centuries. That is why we are in a position, we are a civilization. You know like how many civilizations existed on the earth? How many civilizations? More than 1,000 civilizations on record. On record, how many civilizations, names of civilizations that you find that which existed? Can I expect any correct answer or close to the correct answer from anyone? 80, 80, 80, 40 to 40, 20, 1,000, 100, 150, 80. There were 46 civilizations. 46. You find the name. Okay. Like Greek, Mesopotamian, like this. And how many civilizations are alive now? Have a living presence. How many civilizations have a living presence? Someone is saying one, who's saying one, raise your hand. Okay. One, which is that civilization? Which is that civilization which has a living presence, or how many civilizations are alive? If you say these, 45 civilizations out of 46 have gone into oblivion, completely disappeared. They have no presence, only on record. The one civilization which has an uninterrupted living presence till date, when it started, we don't know. Okay, that is the civilization of Bharat. In this Indian civilization, or the civilization that we call India, Bharat. Uninterrupted, so many attacks, invaders, okay, so many oppositions. Even still, there are forces working to break this civilization, breaking India forces, right? But still, it has stood the challenges of time and as a living presence. Why? Because all other civilizations didn't have the right kind of education, the right kind of culture, the right kind of vision towards life, right kind of approach towards life. Everyone is present. Okay, Bharat exists and it teaches the whole world what is the real value of life. In that sense, it has always been the Vishwa Guru. Okay. That's why it is said, Swam Swam Charitram Sheram Prithvivyam Sarvamahava. It means every man in the rest of the countries learn what is character from this Indian civilization. What is the real value of life? Right? This is the reason that this is the kind of education which happens centuries after. But for last few hundred years, because of the colonial impact, our real education system is pushed back, and we are getting the education, not the real education, but a colonial education. That is why the mindset, if something of the Indian rootedness is brought before the generation, then say, oh, what is this? We are not, all shall not. Well, because the thinking process has changed. But that doesn't lead anywhere. It creates more problems, but it doesn't make us rooted. It doesn't make us enjoy the life in a true sense. Okay. That is why we need to get back to have a deeper connection with the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Gita, the Tantra, the Darshanas. Because the real thing about life, what can add strength to life? What can make us rooted in our own values? Right? You say outside the world you have written, I'm Jaipuriya because I'm rooted in value. You read my your own sentence. I have not written it. You all have written it. That I'm Jaipuriya because I'm rooted in values. If you say this, right, you have written it on the wall, it has to express in your character. If it is not, then you are a hypocrite. You have written something and then your character says something. Right? If you want to prove right what you have written outside, but thousands of people passing by are seeing it, they expect that they see it. Your parents expect that society, the country expects that since you have written it, then you have to express it. How will you do that? The spiritual retreat itself is a great occasion for each one of you. This is not the end. At the end of the 4 days, it's not that the matter is over. You have a great responsibility to pass this message to your peers, where you live, in your community, and then carry it forward throughout your life. That is the commitment, right? So we come back to information. I told you the story of Yajnavalkya and Janaka. So finally it ends with that we have to see everything in the light of our own self, which is called money. The word money comes from a root sound, Arth, Arth. It also can be derived from the root sound Arth. Okay. So Arth means to move. Arth means to move. So Atman is not something which is static, motionless. Okay, it moves. Where does it move? Lives under life. Once there is an individual, like I am as an individual, I am born with my unique character, which is my unique identity. Whatever work I am doing in my life, so my Atman remembers every good work that I have done. Okay. Then when I am not there on this in this life, in my next life, all the good work that I have done, which has helped myself, my Atman to rise. So it remembers in my next birth and then helps me to move forward from there. I don't have to redo the work. I have to do something which can take me forward. Okay. So in every life, I must arrive at a peak. When I arrive at a peak, what happens? Just imagine you have gone and reached a peak. The peak higher than this peak will be visible when you are on the peak. If a little low also you can't see. You can see a peak higher than a peak when you arrive at. Okay, and there is no direct flight from peak to peak. You have to go through all the ups and downs, which prepares you to arrive at the higher peak. Then another peak is visible. Another peak is visible. That is why the Veda says, Yat Sanuhu Sanu Aruhat. Repeat it. Yat Sanuhu Sanu Aruhat. It means peaks after peaks. One attains to and moves in life, achieving the greater heights, one after another. So, peak is our goal, okay, attaining to the height. And this is what the Upanishads teach you and makes you aware of the real purpose of life. And they constantly tell you that you must overcome all your weaknesses, you must overcome all your shortcomings. You must get rid of your preferences, your tendencies, your fancies to achieve the real purpose of life, to achieve the real strength, and that person who has attained to that strength, who is aware of one's own strength, is a true hero, warrior, is free from all kinds of fears and marches forward with that conviction and then reaches at the peak. Okay. And that person is in a position to contribute substantially and positively for the real development of the world. Right? So this is the message. Now, there are various ways it shows how to do it. How to do it. Please remember one word, Amrutatvam. Repeat it. Amrutatvam. Amrut. You heard word Amrut? Okay. So Amrutatvam is if Amrut is ambrosia. Amrut. The English word for it is ambrosia, ultimate bliss, Ananda. Okay. Amrutatva is the mess of that, immortality, the blissfulness of Amrutatva. That's the goal. Whatever you are doing in life, if there is no Ananda, know that there is some problem. It's not done in the right. If you are doing it with right attitude, you will enter into the state of heart. That is the Ananda. The moment there is no Ananda, you find no Ananda, no joy, know that there is some problem in my mind, in my attitude. I have to correct it. Then you can. Suppose I am teaching and I am not drawing Ananda from my teaching. That means my teaching, I don't know how to teach. A teacher has to be absolutely joyful and energetic and dynamic in the class. The greatest joyous moment for a teacher is when he is teaching. It is not drawing that joy. You are not a teacher, good teacher. There's some problem in the attitude of teaching. Okay. Same way, there is a joy of learning. As it to be, you are sitting in the classroom and if you are not learning it joyfully, then there is something wrong in your attitude towards learning, towards the teacher, towards the subject, towards the infrastructure, or something, some problem, where you are not drawing that. So the Upanishads, they remind us again and again that be joyful. Put all your efforts, find out how you can draw maximum joy in whatever you are doing. This is Amrita. Okay. Now, one may be intellectually very sharp, has studied all books, all the volumes of Harry Potter he has read, many books, many novels, many things you have learned. But when it comes to the real question, certain fundamental question, you fail to answer. Then your learning is not complete. There's some problem, there's something wrong in your learning. In the Upanishad itself, and I will tell you this story, then we will take a break. It's a beautiful story. The story is about Sveta Ketu. The story is about Sveta Ketu. Okay, Sveta Ketu. Repeat the word. Okay. What does it mean? Sveta Ketu. Sweta, you must have some of your friends whose name is Sweta. What does it mean? Sweta. Come on, it's a very common word. Sweta. या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या श्वेतपद्मासना श्वेतपद्मा. Saraswati is what color? She sits on a which flower? Which color lotus? Shwetapadma. Shwetapadma is white lotus. Right? So Shweta means white. And Ketu, what does the word Ketu mean? You must have heard the word Ketu in which context? Rahu Ketu. Right? And what does the word Ketu mean? And remove Ketu. Huh? Planet here. But what does the word mean? Ketu means consciousness. If you are aware, if you are conscious, you will be called Ketu. If you are not conscious, you will be called Aketu. Right? Please remember these two words. Ketu is conscious. Aketu is unconscious, unaware. That's why there is a mantra in the Vedas where the Rishi is invoking, praying to sun, saying that Ketum Brahman Aketave. It means, O sun, when you rise, you make the Aketu, although you are unconscious, you bring them to the state of consciousness with your rise. That's why when sun rises, everyone becomes conscious. Otherwise, we have fallen in night into the state of conscious. So, Ketum Krinman Aketave. So, Ketu means consciousness. Shweta is white. And white symbolizes what? Purity, transparency, peace, clearness. So Shweta Ketu is one who has a clear consciousness, pure consciousness. At least his name. Okay. He may not be, someone's name may be Padmalochan, lotus eyed, but he is a blind. Okay. At least the name has a beautiful name. If your name has a beautiful meaning and you understand that, and you try to realize and you try to become that, there's nothing more beautiful than this. If your name is Shweta Ketu and you carry a very impure consciousness, there's a misalignment, right? And if you really become that, you make your name sarthak, okay, meaningful, purposeful, right? So Shweta Ketu was a brilliant disciple, brilliant character in the world. But till he was 12 years old, he had no inclination to study. He was sitting idle, or he was spending his time playing, doing something, but could not go to Gurukul to learn anything. His father was like if you are not going to school, not interested also going to school. What will be the mind psychology of your parents? They will be concerned or not? Therefore, it's so same way. Shwetaketu's father, his name was Uddalaka. What was the name? Uddalaka. He was one of the great rishis, one of the greatest rishis. Okay. You studied that story in Sanskrit book. So, yeah, in class 6. So, now you see that story is not story. That's why you remember it. It's such a beautiful story. Now, what happens? Uddalaka is concerned that his child is not interested in his child is wasting time with the people. So one day he called Shwetaketu. He said, my dear child, you must remember that in our entire family, in our entire lineage, there is no one who is not interested in Brahma Vidya, not interested in learning. You are setting a bad example in our family. So, what you should do, you must find out a teacher and then start learning. Okay. What did Uddalaka say? Find a teacher and start learning. So at the age of 12, Shvetaketu goes to a Gurukul and starts learning. And within a span of another 12 years, he becomes a brilliant student of that age. Ask anything under the sun, it is at the tip of his tongue. Shvetaketu. Everywhere you will hear the name Shvetaketu, Shvetaketu, Shvetaketu. Everyone is singing the name of Shvetaketu, singing the glory of Shvetaketu. Okay? Now, after the completion of the 24th year, he completed his education. He was coming back to his home. And in his home, who was there? His father, named Uttara. So Uttara thought, and the whole village is singing Shvetaketu, Shvetaketu, Shvetaketu. They're going to celebrate it. They have all gathered to welcome Shvetaketu. But Uddhav is peeping through the window to see how is my child walking, talking, seeing. Is real education reflected in his body language, in his attitude? So he was very, very disappointed. Uddhav. All the village people are celebrating, but his father is disappointed. Now, when Uddalaka reaches, he touches the feet of his father, and then father says, Swetaketu, have you completed your education? He says, yes, father. I have emerged as the best of the best students of the age. So what have you learned, Swetaketu? What have you learned? He said, Father, ask me anything under the sun. Anything, any shastra. It is on the tip of my tongue. Ask any question. Okay? Who is saying? Straight away. His father was smiling. And his father said, okay, Shwetaketu, I'm going to ask you three questions. Actually, one question. But within that single question, there are three questions. If you can answer any of these questions or this question of mine, then I know that you have really studied something. And look at the questions that Uddalaka asked in that day to Shwetaketu. And when you are a student of Upanishad, every student of Upanishad, every student of Atma Vidya, every student of Brahma Vidya must ask this question or contemplate on this question. He said, tell me, Shwetaketu, listen to this question carefully. Tell me, Shwetaketu, do you know that? Do you know that knowing which the unseen can be seen, the unheard can be heard, the unthinkable can be thought of? What a profound question. Do you know that knowing which the unseen can be seen, the unheard can be heard, the unthinkable can be thought of? Can you repeat? Anyone repeat the question? Who remember? Yes.
The question was, tell me, Shwetaketu, do you know that one which unseen can be seen, unheard can be heard, and unthinkable could be thought of?
So in Sanskrit, the original question, येन अदृष्टम दृष्टम bhavati. Unseen can be seen. Asutta bhavati. Onward can be avatam matam bhavati. Unthinkable can be. Okay. How profound is this question? Just whether the head down again at the feet of the Father. I have no idea about this question. I don't know why my teachers didn't teach me. What happened to my teachers? Didn't they know about it? But Father, since you have asked me this question, you must be having the answer. Can you tell me what is the answer to this? Now Vidyalata is going to answer. There's a long dialogue in the Upanishad. The dialogue between Shvetaketu and Vidyalata. But I will tell you the first answer that he gives. Such a beautiful answer. Such a beautiful example. Okay? Such a beautiful example. What he says, my dear child, you see this beautiful banyan tree in our courtyard. Do you see or not? Yes. I always played under this banyan tree, and this is my favorite place. Very good. And how big is the fruit of the banyan tree? Very small. And then so many fallen on the courtyard, father. Said, wow, go and get one fruit here from me. So Shwetaketu goes, a 24-year-old child who has studied all the Shastras but doesn't know how to answer this question. He goes and fetches a banyan fruit, small banyan fruit. You have seen banyan fruit? No, sir. No? Banyan tree, have you seen? But the fruits are very small, red in color, right? Very small. So now, when Shwetaketu brings that fruit, Uddalaka, he tells him, my dear child, can you break this fruit to see what lies inside? Now Shwetaketu is breaking it. What we find inside a banyan fruit when you break it, you find so many seeds, so many, hundreds of seeds. If a small fruit contains hundreds of seeds inside, how tiny will be the seeds? They be very small. Okay. Now, Uddalaka says, my dear child, can you pick up one seed? Can you pick up one seed? So very carefully he brings one seed. If you are not careful, it will fall somewhere, you will not be able to find it out. Very tiny seed. Then he says, show me, so Shwetaketu shows him that very the seed. Now, Uddalaka says, my dear child Shwetaketu, can you break open that seed? Just imagine a tiny seed, you are asked to break it open to find out what is there inside the seed. So he says, Father, what are you saying? Can this seed be further broken? But still he tries to break it. Now just try to break that seed, tiny seed. What will you find inside? What will you find? Nothing. So he says the same way. He says, Father, nothing inside. The outer and the inner of the seed is same. There's nothing special inside the seed. Literally, there is nothing. He said. The father then said, Shwetaketu, listen carefully. Shwetaketu, listen carefully. What you say that there is nothing inside from that tiny seed, this huge banyan tree. It means that this huge banyan tree is there secret, hidden in this tiny seed, what you call nothing. When there is a proper climate, proper condition, that small seed, what you call nothing, then he says, Tvam Asi. What he says? Tvam Asi. You are that. You are that. So the Brahman is that. This whole creation, how vast this universe. Everything is there in Brahman in this potential form and it pre-exists in the sea. That is Brahman. That is Atman. And you are that. You are that. That means we all have got that potential. If we try to manifest, we can become the entire creation. Understand? This is the education which Uddalaka gave to Sripati. What was the famous sentence? Tattva. This is one of the Mahavakyas of the Upanishad. The greatest statement in the Upanishad, Mahavakya, which says Tattva. You are. And this is the foundation of our civilization. This is the foundation of Sanatana Dharma, which tells you in a clear language that you are. It nowhere says that you are a sinner, you are a, you are faulty, you are a problematic person, you are nothing. It doesn't say that. It says you are that pure consciousness. You are that Brahman. Realize that become conscious. And this is what you will find throughout every Upanishad. Every Upanishad. And there are altogether around 250 Upanishad texts available today in printed form. Okay. But out of these, there are principal Upanishads around 11 to 12. Principal Upanishad. So let's try to remember the names of the principal Upanishads. Okay. At least this much we can do and then end it. So the first and foremost among all the Upanishads is Isha Upanishad. Isha, Isha, I-S-H-A, Isha, Isha Upanishad. Next, you have Katha, K-A-T-H-A, Katha. It is not Katha, it is Katha. Okay. So Isha, Katha, K-A-T-H-A, Katha, Isha, Katha. Sorry, before Katha you can write Kena, Isha, Kena, K-E-N-A, Isha Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, okay, Isha, Kena, Katha, then Prashna, P-R-A-S-H-N-A, Prashna, Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Mundaka, Mundaka, M-U-N-D-A-K-A, Mundaka Upanishad. Okay. So Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Mundaka, Mundaka. Then you have Mandukya, Mandukya, M-A-N-D-U, Mandukya, K-Y-A. Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya. Then you have Aitareya, A-I-T-A, Aita, R-E-Y-A, Aitareya. Aitareya. Aita Aitareya. Okay. So Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Aitareya. Then you have Taitiriya. Taitiriya. Taiti, Taiti, Riya. Taitiriya. Taitiriya. Taitiriya Upanishad. Then you have Chandogya. So Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Aitareya, Taitiriya, Chandogya, 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 Chandogya. Then you have Brihad Aranyaka. You have Brihad Aranyaka. Brihad, Brihad, Brihad. Aranyaka. Arya, Brihad Brihad Aranyaka. Okay. So these 10 are the 10 principal Upanishads. Okay. So let's repeat. Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Aitareya, Taitiriya, Chandogya, Brihad Aranyaka. So other than this, there are many other Upanishads, like 250 Upanishads. Okay. So these 10 are the basis, the fundamental texts in the Upanishad literature. Right? So we will take a break and then gather here for a detailed question answer and reflection session where we will discuss more things. All your questions I will answer and then add more things towards our knowledge for information. Right? Let's take a break. So we'll just maintain silence for a few seconds. Okay? Silence for a few seconds and then silence. Oh, 10 minutes and then we are back. वो उससे बात करके क्या डिटेल्स चाहिए वो उसको दे देना, क्योंकि वही अवधान के ऊपर वो लोग कुछ अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, तो वो चाह रहे हैं कि मैं भी वहाँ पे एज ओपीआई रहूँ, क्योंकि अवधान का आइडिया टोटल हमारा ही है। तो इसीलिए तो उसको क्या क्या चाहिए, मतलब जो हमारा बना हुआ है ना, हम जो क्या है पीआई को पीआई का जो डिटेल्स चाहिए, तो हाँ हाँ वही उनको भेज देना। और तीसरी चीज है, वो जो रंजना के पास पुस्तक जाने का था ना, वो पांडिचेरी पहुंच गया है, पर वो लोग वो डिलीवरी नहीं कर पाए हैं। तो उसको एक बार बोलो कि उनको फोन कर, या तो फोन नंबर दे किसी का जिससे वो कांटेक्ट करके वहां से ले आए, या उनको दे, क्योंकि पैसा तो हम लोगों ने दिया डोर डिलीवरी का। हाँ, तो उसको एक बार फोन करके पूछो कि वो पहुंचाए पुस्तक, क्योंकि लेट हो रहा है। क्योंकि उसको फिर कहीं बाहर जाने का है, नहीं तो वो रह जाएगा। अंदर कैसे जाएगी? At the same time, take some photographs on your what do this then you will ask for the same thing. You see, I shared with you some the good images around. They might see the video from back to the then we start with everything. All this this is the traditional you should just come to the people and become something. Hello. हाँ हाँ हाँ, नहीं वो तो हम लोग की तरफ से जो जो देने का था वो सब हम ये जो ऑफिस है जेएनयू में वहां पे दे दिया एनआरसी। पर वो लोगों को हमने कितने बार बोल चुका है कि आप हमें यूटिलाइजेशन सर्टिफिकेट भेजिए, ताकि मेरी तरफ से यूटिलाइजेशन सर्टिफिकेट आईसीएसएसआर को जाएगा। वहां से कोई रेस्पॉन्स ही नहीं। इसके बारे में मैंने हाँ हाँ जी। हाँ 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 हाँ। हम्म, 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 ठीक ठीक। नहीं नहीं वो है, और फिर मुझे भी कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए, क्योंकि नैक का भी आएगा तो वो तो सर्टिफिकेट पूछेंगे प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीशन। तो इसके बिना तो नहीं हो पा रहा है। तो जैसे ही उनसे सर्टिफिकेट और डिटेल्स आएगा, तो ऑनस्पेंट अमाउंट जो है मेरे पास कुछ 10-20 हजार रुपया वो मैं वापस कर दूंगा। और वो फिर ऑल डिटेल्स में आईसीएसएसआर को भेज दूंगा, लेकिन वहां से कोऑपरेशन हमको नहीं मिला इतना अच्छा। हाँ हाँ हाँ। ठीक है ठीक ठीक है। तो मैं हाँ जी, हाँ मैं कॉल करके वो डिटेल्स उनसे मंगा के यूटिलाइजेशन में भेज दूँ। हाँ हाँ हाँ, ठीक ठीक, ओके, आई सी एस एस, handed over, but they have not given us the utilization certificate which I have to send to ICSS. हाँ, एक और चीज, अभी आईसीएसएस से फोन आया है, जो हमारा प्रोजेक्ट है ना वो कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है अभी तक। बोले आपने तो रिपोर्ट भेज दिया वो सब है, और यूटिलाइजेशन सर्टिफिकेट ये सब बाकी है, तो हमको कंप्लीट करना पड़ेगा। तो एनआरसी से, है ना, तो हमको वो शिप जो है ना, शिप को फोन करना पड़ेगा कि आप यूटिलाइजेशन सर्टिफिकेट और ऑन स्पेंड अमाउंट जो है, जितना बचा हुआ है, तो उसका जो डिटेल्स है वो हमारे पास भेजे, ताकि जो अनस्पेंड अमाउंट है आई हैव टू रिटर्न इट टू एनआरसी, है ना, कुछ 10-20 हजार या 26 हजार ऐसे कुछ था ना रिटर्न करने का, सारे खर्चा करने के बाद। तो वो मैं रिटर्न करूंगा और रिसिप्ट उसका लेंगे, और यूटिलाइजेशन सर्टिफिकेट वो देगा। वो सारा चीज मेरी तरफ से आईसीएसआर को जाएगा, तभी जाके मुझे प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा, है ना। तो वो बोले, मैंने बोला कि हम लोग तो जितना करना था हमारी तरफ से कर दिए हैं, लेकिन वहां से कोई रेस्पॉन्स नहीं है, तो हम क्या नाम ठग चुके हैं, ये सब बोल रहे हैं। बोले नहीं, हम लोगों ने प्रेशराइज कर दिया है शिव को, आप शिव को फोन करिए, वो डिटेल्स भेजेगा। तो जब टाइम मिलेगा थोड़ा, आज ये सब करने के बाद थोड़ा शिव को फोन कर देना, बोलो आप हमको यूटिलाइजेशन सर्टिफिकेट भेजिए, बाकी ऑन स्पेंड अमाउंट जमा करने का जो बैंक डिटेल्स भेजिए, तो हम जमा करेंगे रिसिप्ट करेंगे और यूटिलाइजेशन सर्टिफिकेट, क्योंकि आईसीएसएसआर को हमको सबमिट करना है फॉर द प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीशन, और हमारे ऊपर भी प्रेशर है, तो इतना उससे बोल, ठीक है। और कितना अनस्पेंड अमाउंट है, क्योंकि उसके पास तो पूरा डिटेल्स भेजा है ना, तो वो हमको देखना पड़ेगा कि अनस्पेंड अमाउंट कितना है जो मुझे रिटर्न कर, ठीक है। Never I'll take in license. I'll take only when we are directly in, not not via MS. Yesterday, Dipankar also told me, sir, why didn't you take me? I also want to sit and then I can assist you with all these things. I said, okay, you are from Mayango. Let me see you for a few years. Isha is first the logic because it is a part of the Ved. So it is the instant motion. So after that, from the significance point of view, came there is a verse which lists out the names of the Upanishads in this order. No order, it's fine. But traditionally, this is what is the accepted order.
Amazing, brother.
आवाज नहीं आई इसका। अरे क्या इसका? नहीं, 24 ये लैपटॉप वो नहीं लेता ना, लैपटॉप आउटपुट देता है, वो केबल से लैपटॉप आउटपुट देता है, माइक पेन ये वाला नहीं देता। ट्राई तो सही है, देख माइक पेन चाहिए, जैसे हम लाइव स्ट्रीम वगैरह करते हैं तो माइक लेता तो है। पता नहीं यार, माइक 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 थोड़ी रहता है, इनपुट से वो चेंज कराना पड़ेगा। वो फैन अगर साइलेंट हो जाए, गुस्से से बात कर रहा हूँ मैं। few seconds of silence, so we start our next question and Oh, okay. So we have an introduction to what is Upanishad, the content of the Upanishad, the message of the Upanishad, the whole message of the Upanishad. So who amongst you would like to summarize the previous session, highlighting the key points? Okay, I give you, all of you, I give 5 to 7 minutes time. Sit down. Like yesterday you all did. So for this session also, please write down 10 statements which by which you can describe the whole session. Then I will just 4 or 5 of you to come here and then read it down. So 10. Silently you are the you are summarizing the session, your understanding of the research from the last session, and then you're putting it in your own language in 10 statements, 10 sentences. Okay, silent. You have to write it silent. Okay. अब जिसका भी प्रश्न होगा आप हाथ ऊपर उठाएंगे मैं आपके पास माइक लेके आऊंगा फिर आप अपना क्वेश्चन रिलैक्स कीजिए ठीक है All right, have you completed? Yes, sir. No, sir, yes. Okay. So anyone who has completed would like to make the presentation here. So please raise your hand and then volunteer. I will call you here. Okay, come. I'll call one by one. Right. Stand here. Very good. We got to know about the power of silence, how it makes us concentrate and lot more. Brahman is the word, according to the Upanishads, for the one truth. We also learned about the four Samvedas, Rigved, Yajurved, Samved, Atharved. The word Upanishad has two prefixes, Up and Me, and Shad is the root sound. Up means near, Me means deep down, Shad means to sink or settle. Vishad shows direction, Prasad shows happiness. The physical and spiritual meaning of Upanishad too. Other names of Upanishad, Brahma Vidya. We also heard about the story of Shwet Ketu. Names of 10 principles of Upanishads and more. Well, thanks. At the starting of the day, Sir told someone, which, which is when Atma Bari Hine Lalabhe, which states the one who is devoid of strength can never realize one own self. Then also got to know about the three components of Upanishads, which are Upa, which means closeness, Ni, which is deep down, and Sat, which is a root sound, which means to say. We then got to know about Atma, which is a non-smoking flame glowing in the center of our arm. Then at last, Sir told us that we all have the potential to achieve anything, uh, anything if we manifest. About smoking. Flame without smoke. Next, not from this side. Yeah. After that, you can come. Remind that. And go to slow. We got to know what is the meaning of Upanishad, which is this being deep down in you or the self-realization. In the physical meaning, it is Sisha sitting at the feet of the Guru to gain the knowledge.
And we also want to know what is the core knowledge of Upanishad. It is called the Brahma Vidya. How not only we can be a part of silence, but how we can be the silence too sometimes. And we got to know about the fire, which is the spider, which is Atma. And, uh, and we also got to know about there are 250 texts of Upanishads, and 10 of them are principal, which is Isha, Kane, Katha, Prashna, Mundaka, Manjukya, Manjundra, uh,
ईशकेन कठोर प्रश्न मंडल मांडुक ऐतरेय तैत्तिरीय छांदोग्य बृहदारण्यक. Oh, yes. This side, get ready.
Yesterday we learned about Vedas, today we learned about Upanishads. And Upanishads are more meditative than Vedas. Like they tell us that Atman and Brahman to be achieved in life. And Atman is like when you are weak, when you are limited, and your own short when there, you cannot realize your own potential and the power within. Then Atma Pradhanina Lavya. This says that strength cannot be determined by weak, and the person with all equality and equality humanity is the more and superior from others. And the Brahman is made from the word Vringa, and Brahman is the energy or human create. Brahman is in every human and every creature organism in the world. I think Indian civilization is one of the most oldest civilizations of the world because they all are united and the Indian civilization has a superior education that is surviving till now. And yet Seheno Arohal, it peaks after peaks and peaks after peaks. And attaining the highest peak and attaining the most superior truth, which is the same all over, which manifests in different different manifestations, and in most of the we must get rid out of our comfort zone, fantasy, shortcomings to attain our real strength. And lastly, so told us a story where a guru asked a student about a question, and the guru taught in a very descriptive manner. My dear child, you see the banyan tree in this ground? Can you see how big is this fruit of banyan? How tiny is the seed? My child, can you break it open the seed? And then the disciple says that no, it has nothing. It is all same outer and inner ways. And but but then the guru answered that, but in this tiny seed, there's a whole banyan tree, and inside you, there's whole positivity in you. Thank you.
I will take someone from this.
So on this day, we learned about Upanishads. This day was devoted to Mahakali, and we got that there are 50 Upanishads, and we got to know about things extra. Brahman and the Atman. Uh, we also got to know about the story of Shwetaketu, in which we got to know that all knowledge does not come from books. So in this story, the Guru asked the father asked a question to Shwetaketu that do you, Shwetaketu, know which you cannot see, neither hear, nor think the unthinkable. Upanishad, the word Upanishad has two prefixes, up and me. Silence, the power of silence is that it gives us strength, and Prasad is equal to. The Upanishads are all about Brahman and Atman. Upanishad's root sound is Sat, are the prefix. Om means near, Ni means young, Sat means to sing and to sit. Upanishads are also known as Brahman Vidya. Atman means understanding oneself. It is a flame that burns in the heart of conscious people. Root sound of Atman is Atman, which means to know. Brahman is the root sound. Brahma is the root sound of Brahman. The Mahavakya in all the Upanishads says that Tvam Asi. It means you are that. Before, there were 47 civilizations, but only Indian civilization is alive till now. There are 10 principles of the Upanishads. Sir told us a mantra. What Sano, Sano, Arodhan, meaning the one who understands themselves and their Atma. Thank you. The one beside you. Sit with you. The one beside you. You raised your hand. Vande Mataram. Today we learned about how silence can be significantly powerful. Upanishad does not mean something handwritten. It has its own spiritual meaning that flow of divine goes deep inside the body, and the person merges with the field. I learned how out of the world 46 civilizations we are the only one to be still alive. Upanishad inspires us to always be happy. We got to know how Shvetketu, a brilliant character in Upanishad, got confused by a question from his father that the unseen can be seen, the unheard can be heard, the unthinkable can be thought of. We got to know that how the inner light can help us see even if there is no light. Meaning, Sir told us that Atma Depo Bhava. Be the light of yourself. Therefore, it was a great experience for me, and I hope to see knowledge from you. Very good. Yes. Nice. Anthology. So from this side also, please raise your hand, then I'll call you. Okay. In today's session, we learned about the Upanishad, that it consists of three words, Upa, Me, and Shad. So, Upa and Me are the prefix which are used before the root sound Sat. That means to sing or settle down. We can clear it in two meanings. First is the spiritual meaning, that is when the flow of divine that goes deep inside us. So we merge with that divine state. And another meaning that we conclude is that when we sit at the feet of our Guru and attain knowledge, then we learn about Brahman that has the root sound Bringa, which means to expand. We got to know that Atma Deepo Bhava means be your own light. There were total 46 civilizations, out of which one is still there. That is the Indian civilization. Atman comes from the earth, which means to move, which tells us that I move from one life to another. I'll take someone from this side. Yeah. Today's frame was focused on Mahabharata, strength, and Kshatriya. Upanishads are more focused than Vedas. Upanishads focus on one truth, Brahma, which manifests in different words. Our purpose is to understand ourselves. If we are weak, we can find ourselves. When we are deeply connected with ourselves, it comes with strong text. If we meditate properly, then we will see the flame in ourselves. If there are stars, sun, moon, then the flame will light inside us. And the flame is the size of a thumb in center of our heart, and it is smoke. In today's session, we learn about cognition. Cognition means deep down into our self-realization. There are two names of cognition. The other name is which are unfriendly and shared with the root sound. Some told about our civilization, that there are 46 civilizations and only or now only one civilization is left, which is Indian civilization. And some told about the story of a fire inside ourselves. It means sun told then what will happen if there is no sun, no moon, and no stars. And he said that that there is a our life, there is a life ourselves which is not world. Like Vedas, Upanishad follows only one truth. Swabodha is same as Atmanaya in Upanishad. Know yourself, you have to enlighten your warrior, Mahakali. If the man has all the certificates, all the grades and marks, that doesn't, but doesn't know who he or don't his strength is, then his life's aim was not achieved. Upanishad was not formed by two prefixes and the true sound church. Core of each conscious body is Atman. We all are fragmented part of Brahman. There are in total 46 registered civilizations. One civilization that has living presence is Indian civilization. Yagyavalkya's story to Jana told us that without sun, moons, stars, fire, light which is within ourselves will be the source of energy. We also got to know that Gita journey is from Vishnu Prasad. Um, as seen by rishis. The terms Brahman and Atman are commonly found in Upanishads. They must be realized in life. The meaning of Brahman is to expand, and the meaning of Atman is the flame burning in every conscious being. There are four important samhita: Rigved Samhita, Samarved Samhita, Yajurved Samhita, Atharvaved Samhita. There are 10 principal Upanishads. In Upanishads, there are stories described by mantras. The story of Shred Ketu made us realize we cannot learn everything in life. Thank you. So, from this side, anyone from this side would like to come and present? If not, then we will take up two questions. One question from this side and one question from this side. You want to present? Question. Okay. Come here. Ask the question. How they should realize their inner potential power. How finish? How they realize their inner potential power. Does anyone understand the question? Yes. What? How Upanishad realize their self? Maybe eventually our Upanishads can make us realize.
How Upanishad can help us realize. Okay, so put that question in that manner. How Upanishads can help us realize ourselves. Okay, say that. How we shall make other realize oneself. Oneself. Okay, all right. So now, how Upanishads are going to help us realize ourselves? Because the core content of the Upanishad is that we must realize ourselves. The Upanishads not only tell us that we must realize ourselves, the beauty of the Upanishad is that it shows us the path, shows us the way how we can realize the self. Okay, so what is that way? By deepening our understanding, by becoming more and more conscious of ourselves, the presence of the self, the presence of the light, by bringing more silence into our being. One of the strongest ways it suggests that by bringing silence into our being. If we live in a chaotic situation, we cannot realize ourselves. If we are more in fulfilling our preferences, tendencies, our desires, we can never realize ourselves. It weakens. So that is why, for realizing ourselves, one of the finest ways that it says that we must become free from our unnecessary desires, preferences, tendencies, weaknesses, shortcomings, limitations, and add more strength to our being. And the real strength lies in silence, not in chaos. Okay. So that is why, like how much importance we are giving during this retreat to remain silent, to feel the silence, to observe silence, to become so in silence. Okay. And then that is the strength. Okay. So more silence, more you are strong. That is the way, one of the ways, and there are so many ways, but one of the finest ways is to become strong by increasing the silence within. That silence will help us getting rid of all the unnecessary things which we cannot. So that will help us strengthening ourselves, realizing our own potential, realizing the powers within, and manifesting the powers within. Then we are a different person. We are a different being. We work with a different strength. Right? One more question from this side. Come here.
Sir, how can the Upanishad and the silence can help us to see the unseen, to hear the unknown, and think the unseen?
The story where Uddalaka is teaching his child Shwetaketu how the unseen can be seen, how the unheard can be heard, how the unthinkable can be thought of. So the first example that he gave, what was the example? The tiny banyan seed in which the whole banyan tree is separate in a potential form. Right? So he was trying to show him through this example that for seeing the unseen, now that potential which is secret, is the unseen, unheard, unthinkable. Now we don't know what it is. Okay. In what form it can manifest. Okay. We don't know. But by growing more and more conscious of the presence of that supreme principle which is secret within us, like the banyan tree secret in the seed. So there is that presence which is secret within every one of us at the center of our life. But we are not yet aware of that. We have not seen that. Okay. We have heard that there is a flame which is a blaze at the center of our heart, but we have not seen. We can't think of, we can't hear of, right? We cannot hear the message that it sends, right? So what is to be done? Now we have heard or seen in this record, what is called Upanishad, that there were people who, who heard the message, who thought about it, who described how it looks. So if someone has seen it, so it also shows that we also can see it because it is the same concept. The person who has seen, suppose we say Yajnavalkya, he was also an ordinary man like us. But by the power of tapas, by following this discipline, he has raised himself to a state, to a level where he could see that. And if you see it, you can describe it in some manner. If you see it, you can think of it. Right? So that is the secret to grow more and more conscious of the presence of that flame by following a certain discipline. What discipline? A discipline which is not imposed on anyone. If someone is say, like prepares a discipline for us and then gives us, you should get up at 5 o'clock, do this, 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 12 o'clock. But if you say, why should I do this? It is a discipline which you have to create for yourself. Because there is no one other than you who understands better than yourself. Right? You understand yourself in a far better way than anyone else can understand. But the understanding of yourself is right or wrong. You may be having some illusion about you. You may having some illusion which you find that this is the but whole life you live in that illusion. And suddenly you understand that why I live like this? Why did I carry this? It's all fault. There are so many examples like this. So I'll tell you, there was one very famous story writer, a literary person. I don't know whether you have heard about him or not. Manoj Das. Okay, you saw him. He was given Padma Bhushan. Okay, before he passed away, 2, 3 years or 4 years before. Fantastic storyline. He has written biography of Sri Aurobindo. He lived in Sri Aurobindo ashram for a long time. Great, great, great storyline. Okay, but before he came to Sri Aurobindo and adopted a spiritual life, what was he? He was a staunch atheist. He was a total Marxist person. He was convinced that only Marxism has the solution to the problems of life. Okay. Very strong. He was an activist, right? Very strong activist. And no temple, no God, nothing. Total atheist. One day he read something from Sri And I'm missing that, oh, I was an illusion that what I am following is going to give the solution. But no, here is the solution. He completely left what life he was living, what ideas he carried, and then surrendered, and then became a lifelong disciple of Lord. He got convinced that the way hardship shows to the people that here is the solution. No, it is a very limited solution. It rather creates more problems. I'm just giving one example. There's so many people who may be under illusion. So that is why, whether you are in illusion or on the right path, that is something you have to decide while creating a discipline for you. But you must create your own discipline. It should not be an imposed discipline. It should be self-created discipline. But in that self-created discipline, you can take guidance from others, your mentors, your teachers, who have realized, who have achieved something, who have followed the right path. Okay? By following their path, you can create a discipline for yourself. But at a certain point, you have to give up everything because you know now the secret of yourself. Okay. So always follow the message that comes from within. Okay, that is the truest message because your self, that Atman, is the greatest friend of yours. Great, all your friends can cheat you, deceive you, can be found hypocrites. But here is a friend which will never deceive you. Which will always put you in the right track. So be a friend of you. Find that what that friend says. Okay. There lies the solution. Okay. So from here, you can always note down your questions. We have still 2 more days. We will find times to discuss. But since we have started and got an introduction to the Upanishads, now what I feel that we should pick up some important mantras and messages of some of the Upanishads, try to understand those mantras, contemplate on it, recite it together, and then get into that stage where the mantra also emerges. And some Rishi had seen it. So on the screen will be the mantras shown. You can see there. So can you put that? So the first mantra that we will take up today for our understanding and recitation is a mantra. Listen to me carefully, then you will learn so many things. Okay. So after this 4 days, you have so much of time to pursue, so much of time, whatever you want to do. But these 4 days can shape your life. I'm guaranteeing you that. If you listen carefully and be attentive. Okay. So the first mantra that we are going to learn today is from Isha Upanishad. The first mantra of Isha Upanishad. And it is saying okay, that if all scriptures are lost, all scriptures are lost, all mantras are lost, only the first mantra of Ishopanishad remains in the memory of the humanity, then also the world will be saved by this single mantra. Then also the life will become beautiful. Then also it has the power to make our whole civilization alive. This is such a powerful mantra. Can you increase the size of the first mantra? This is the first one. Ah. put that, Ishavasya Idam Sarvam. It says, still little more, bigger. Okay, so listen, I'm reading it. Okay, so this one light you can switch off. This one light, this one. Is it okay? Okay. So the mantra that we are going to learn, the first mantra is Upanishad, right? First mantra is Upanishad. It says, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. Don't repeat now, just listen. Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. Yat Kinch Yattena Punjiha Magva Kasya Svit. This is the text. Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. Yat Kinch Jagatyam Jagat. Tena Tyaktena Punjiha Magva Kasya Svit. Okay. Why it is saying, what is the significance of this mantra? That it is said that everything else is lost and only this mantra is retained in the memory of the human. See? Civilization can be said, humanity can be said. That means there is something very, very important in this one, which we need to understand. Okay. First, let's get into the sound pattern of it. Okay. The rhythm of it. Okay. So, if you have completed your writing of this mantra, tell me, then we will get into the second part of it. Ishavasya Vidam Sarva. Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat. Tena Tyaktena Punjita. Ma Gridhatkasya Svedhanam. Okay. So now, I hope you have completed writing it. Okay. So now repeat, listen to me and then repeat every word, then every line, then the total mark. Isha, Isha, Vasyam, Idam, Sarvam, Yat, Kinch, Jagatyam, Jagat, Tena, Tyaktena, Punjitha, Ma, Gridhat, Kasya Svid, Nam. Okay. Now line by line. Nisha Vasya Midam Sarvam. Isha Vasya Midam Sarvam. Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat. Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat. Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha. Ma Gridhat Kasya Svedhanam. Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha. Ma Gridhat Kasya Svedhanam. One more round. ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत्
यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत्
तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा मा गृहः कस्यचित् धनम्. Okay. So what does it teach? Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. First try to understand Idam Sarvam. Idam Sarvam means all this. Idam, this, Sarvam, all. All this. All this means what?
Ganesh.
Everything. Everything that is there in the creation. You, me, everything. There's nothing excluded. From the minutest particle to the grandest Himalaya or the grandest ocean or the grandest galaxies, everything is of suffering. Each of us who has created this creation is, is. We don't, you can give any name, but there is a supreme force which is the source of it that we call Ish. You can call it Krishna, you can call it by any name, it doesn't matter. But Ish, there is a supreme force, which is the source of everything. So that supreme force, when it created things, okay, when it created things, it kept a little space for itself to live. For example, I created this huge building. I also created a room for thinking that you have built as a builder, you have built a huge apartment, huge building. But there you have kept a very special place for you to live. Right? The same way, Isha, the supreme force, whatever he has created, from the minutest to the grandest, there he has kept a little place for it. He's so powerful that he can live at the same time in everything. That is why in everything and being there is a presence, there is a core, there is a nucleus, there is an essence which is living, which is a living. And that is what is the greatest defining character of our culture, our civilization, our dharma, Sanatana. That we feel the presence of a supreme being or presence of the divinity in everything and being. Even I have seen all those people who say, oh, I don't believe in all these gods and everything. But while walking, if they talks by their feet, someone immediately gets up. The same person, 5 minutes before said that I don't believe in it or any of this. But while walking, touches by his foot, someone or something, but immediately said, and whom does he want? Whom does he say sorry? Okay, because that is there. So this very presence forces us to feel the presence in others. Right? You can't avoid it. You feel it. Very tangible. So, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. So, the supreme force, the supreme ruler, the supreme creator, the supreme consciousness who has brought out everything in the form of creation or in this creation, okay, also lives in its own creation. not separate from its own creation, because that force itself is the creation, has become this creation, okay, has extended itself to become this creation. Right? Is this part clear? Isa Vasyam Idam Sarvam. When it says Idam Sarvam, it includes everything. That's why it repeats Jagatyam Jagat. In this Jagat, now see the beauty of the word Jagat. What does Jagat mean? Word. Why it is called Jagat? Why it is called Jagat? Jagat word comes from the root sound gam. Gam means to move, like Gachati. The root sound of Gachati is gam. Okay, Gamana. So, gam is the root sound of the word Jagat. So, Jagat is not something which is static, it is a movement. So, everything here in this creation is in motion. Does your science say that? Even from the minutest particle to the grandest is an emotion, is an act. Yeah? Wherever action is there, motion is there. So everything here is a movement. This entire creation is a movement within movement. Movement within movement. Everything is an action. Everything is an action. This earth is in motion, but we don't feel it. But the sense there. So there is nothing like dead. In dead also there are this the nucleus aspects. They are also in action. There's something which is in action. If the dead body is not in movement or in action, what happens to your dead body when you keep it for some time? See, if you keep the dead body just on this table, the dead body is there. Will it remain in the same position forever? What will happen? It also get no, it is not moving, but there is motion in it. So it swells, it gets decomposed, so many things happen inside the body. So you can't say that it is dead. It is dead from that the whole body doesn't move, but there is movement in the body. Even though a dead body has something in it which is in motion. It is made of something, right? So everything in this creation is in action. Yes, that's why there's nothing like we say Chara from the practical point of view. Otherwise, essentially there is movement, there is action. Right? So Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam. So it makes this statement, this is the premise, this is the fundamental understanding with which he Michael did in this world, that in this world in which we live, whatever we see in this creation has the presence of the Supreme, because he is all pervading and lives in everything. Statement number one. Statement number two is Tena. Tena Hindi. Before it says, to understand this, there's a fundamental question which every human being asks. Why has he created this? If he is so powerful, if he is all blissful, if he is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, and all blissful, all consciousness, what was the necessity to create this world me, you, everything, and then put us all in problem. Why did He create this? What is the purpose of this? What should I do? What is the purpose of myself to be born again and again and then leave this world? What is the purpose? So the third line in this mantra says, makes it absolutely clear that this creation, everyone has come to this earth, not to give up this earth, not to give up this world, but to enjoy this world. Enjoyment, enjoyment, please note it down. Enjoyment, bhoga, is the purpose of this creation. Enjoyment. Huh? Statement two, you can make it. Okay. But everything here is for enjoyment. Okay. Then you may say that the West is also saying the same thing. You just enjoy your life, enjoy everything. Does it not refer to Bhoga, the materialistic philosophy that you should enjoy the world? But even though it says that this world is meant or created for enjoyment, we do not know how to enjoy. We do not know the art and science of enjoying the world, enjoying every moment in the world. What is that art and science of enjoying the world? Who can enjoy the world and remain happy in this world? Okay? So there is a secret which is hidden here, which reveals, Yajnavalkya reveals that secret. How to be in this world, enjoy the world, and remain happy throughout the life and enjoy everything. Okay? What is that secret? He says, as long you have this sense of greed and possessiveness, you can never think. But true enjoyment can never happen if you are possessive of the thing. And I mind that my wealth, my home, my car, my bank account, my money, my children, my parents, my family, and always you are greedy of accumulating. You see a beautiful flower together, I take it. But enjoyment is gone. How many of you, or how many of us, enjoy seeing a sunrise? And although you have not raised your hand, you never enjoy sunrise. There's no one in the world who would say that I don't enjoy sunrise. To see a sunrise, or the new moon, or anything beautiful in the nature. Okay, a bird is singing. Oh, you said, what a beautiful sound here. What a beautiful scenery. Nature, the mountains, the rivers, the ocean, the clouds. Okay, so there are so many beautiful things we enjoy them. Can anyone describe it? Why do you enjoy most a sunrise or when you look at a full moon in your clear? Okay, why do you enjoy? What is that which makes you enjoy the most? Why?
The sunrise, there are different shades of color. And sometimes it's orange, sometimes it's purple, sometimes it's red, and I think again. So there are different. So in the sunrise, we can see the shades of colors, like the orange, the purple, the pink, and sometimes very different from one another. In the full moonlight, we can clearly see the light, the little craters on it. Even though it's not clearly visible, yet we can somehow see it. And even if it's uh, in the clouds, we still can find some happiness in
But if the same conditions are created, like you have drawn a beautiful image of the sunrise or moon, something like that, that has given you another you have created it. But someone you came home and then found that your beautiful sunrise image is stolen by someone. Happy or not?
Even if it's dark, even if it's
Because you tell me what will be your feeling? Someone has destroyed it, someone has stolen it.
I would see like I didn't understand what they are.
One time like you have drawn that beautiful image of sunrise. You are an artist. So you came home and then found that in your studio someone has entered and went on disturbed your picture which you draw. What will be your reaction?
Upset for a minute or two, but then I would think that I know the image, how it looks, and I would start again to
Okay. So now you see, there are moments where we enjoy the things most. Why? Because the moment we see the sunrise and moonrise, at that moment of something beautiful, there's no sense of possession. No one on the earth can say that, hey, today's sunrise is mine. No one else has the right to enjoy the sunrise other than me. Can anyone say like you? Because you don't have that sense of possession. So when you are free from the sense of possessiveness, when you can't claim, when you cannot say that it's mine, no one else has the right, your environment level is in a practical sense I'm explaining. Because you have at that moment renounced your sense of greed, possession, that it's mine, no one else has the right. You don't tell the person who is standing beside you and then enjoying, hey, stop, it's today my day. Today's sunrise is meant for me. Prime Minister of India has told me that today's sunrise is yours. You don't say that, right? Because no one can make it one's own. There's no sense of possessiveness. So that is why the third statement here, which says, Ma Grudha Kasyasvidhana. That is why never have greed on possession, either of others or yourself. Do not be greedy. Renounce, tiktena. When you renounce this sense of possession, greed, anger, desires, which limit your consciousness, then you can truly enjoy. The true enjoyment doesn't come from how much you have. The true enjoyment comes how much you have renounced this inner desire. possession, sense of greed, kamana, vasana, lobha, krodha. How much you have given? How much you have become pain? That is why the pain, if pain of renounce and so it reconciles the bhoga and the tyaga. It is a tyaga parak bhoga. Okay? It is not a bhoga parak. It is a tyaga sahit bhoga. Tyaga parak. Because if you become free from this, your enjoyment level is pure and you enjoy the most, the anand, then you are the happy. If every moment you say, no, my God, like their car, our father has purchased such a car of 3 crores and our car look at it just 7, 8 lakhs and it doesn't give that feel. You don't enjoy your own car, sitting in your own car, all the times you are thinking that how they have got it, when can we have that kind of money and then buy it to get that feel. But the one who has renounced will get the same ananda sitting on a rickshaw or walking or riding a bicycle or a scooter or this car or that car. Because it is not the car which gives the ananda. I'll tell you a beautiful story. Where lies that ananda? There was a man who had a grandest palace, beautiful palace. One day, while he had gone out and then came, he was shocked to find that his palace is on fire, burning. No one can say. People are throwing water, and this fellow is completely, oh God, so much of money gone and all these things. Then the eldest son comes running. He said, Father, why are you upset? Like yesterday I had a deal, we have sold this palace, we have the money. Don't worry, we're not losing anything. So suddenly he becomes because now it is not his possession, someone whom they have sold, so let him cry. They upset, clear the cover. And both father and son started dancing with each other. Then the next son comes running, father, what are you saying? You know what? That person who promised the money, someone went and told him that it is on fire, we cancelled that. They started again crying. Okay, so what will happen? Now, who is creating? Is the palace, is the money giving them happiness and unhappiness? Or there is something else which is creating this sense of happiness. The moment he heard that, no, we have regained our money, nothing to do with it, happy. The moment he saw that it's burning, we're at loss, unhappy. Again, the person will come that cancel, agreement is cancelled, unhappy. It's not the money, it's not the position, it's not this or that which creates the happiness. There is something deep within ourselves which created this problem. And they could identify that sense of possession, greed, which desires, okay, jealousy, all these are creating the problem for us. We have to be large. Imagine you are in a state where you are free from greed, free from the unnecessary desires, free from anger. You try to be angry, but anger doesn't come to you. How happy will be that? And if you do it throughout your life is beautiful. Isn't it? So, this is the lesson that we learn from the first mantra, which teaches us the secret, science, and art of living a beautiful life. Right? Is it not beautiful poetry? Beautiful in its essence, in its meaning, in its message. Right? You agree? It's beautiful. Right? So now let's repeat this mantra and learn this mantra and recite this and contemplate on this mantra and carry the meaning, if possible, write a beautiful story of your understanding of this mantra sometimes whenever you have that. Right? So that's how we contemplate meaning. So let's do it, repeat it once again. ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन बुद्ध्या भक्तस्य स्मृतिपदम्. Any mantra from Veda or Upanishad you recite, it has to be recited along with Om, begin with Om, and end with Om. Where Om is the essence of every sound. Like there are many, many definitions of Om. People have written PhD theses, books on Om, what is this Om. But the mother has given a very beautiful, powerful definition of Om. When she was asked, what is Om? Like what she said, Om is the signature of the law. Om is the signature of the law. Okay. If everything in this creation has come, has manifest, there has to be sanction of the Supreme. And he will sanction by signing. And that signature is Om. So that means in everything that being that is there in this creation, it carries that signature. It carries the presence of that Om. When you recite Om, feel the presence of it in everything and being around everything, everyone. Okay, so we will recite Om. Children, we will recite Om. Then recite this mantra. I'll say one line, then you can repeat. Okay, then we'll all together recite the whole mantra. So when you recite Om, never, never, never do the mistake of reciting at there are some people who do this. Om is a single unit of sound. Has to be articulated in one breath. Not because unity and oneness is the essence of Om. Om iti ekaksharam brahma. It is a single unit of sound. Okay, it is Brahma. Because it represents unity and oneness. There is no division. If you fragment it, divide it, you lose yourself. Okay. So O, while reciting, listen, while reciting, O has to be say around 60%, and then E has to be around 40%. Go by your feeling, not by mathematical result, mathematical calculation. Right? So listen to me, then we do all together. Oh. Once again. If see, like if in a group you are chanting, if you are trying to disturb the rhythm or create any unnecessary sound, please remember it's very, very dangerous. You will be destroyed by that distortion. You have to be very careful not to disturb the rhythm. Go with the rhythm. I'm not threatening, I'm cautioning you. Okay. So be careful that you participate and do not try to destroy. That's why the Rishi said, if anyone makes any effort in destroying my language, speech, my food, Indra will kill him with his Vajra. You may annam, you may vani. Okay. Indra Vajrena hinasti. Okay. So do not try to, if you don't want to recite, keep quiet. But do not disturb by bringing in unnecessary sound. Right? Don't do that. It's dangerous for you. Nothing will happen to others. But you yourself will be destroyed by yourself. Right? So, oh, then I will say one line. You repeat after me. After we learn, we will do it all together with you. ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा आगुहा कस्य स्विन् अनम् ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा आगुहा कस्य स्विन् अनम्. Okay. So now let's do Om together and recite the mantra together in this way. Okay. Om. Ishavastramidam sarvam yatkinch jagatyam jagat tena yaktena buddhiha mahena kasya dhanam. Once again. Om. Ishavastramidam sarvam yatkinch jagatyam jagat तेन यत्तेन भुञ्जीथा आपुनः कस्य वनम्. Okay. So we will take up one more mantra before we end. Just one more mantra. Um, hold on. Hold on. Yeah. Is it end? हाँ, concentrate on this mantra. So when we say each, the supreme force, how to next anyone this point? Yes.
चलो मुझे प्लांट्स का रिप्रोडक्शन सिस्टम एंड मैंने बताया था दुनिया को और उन्होंने डिस्कवर किया था
Yes. So he scientifically proved by creating the kind of scientific instrument or tool. He presented to the whole world of science before all the greatest scientists. Okay. So what he proved that consciousness is there in even in plants. Okay. He proved it. He said that supreme consciousness, what we discussed, is that present in everything. That was scientifically proved by wisdom. Right? So now, what was the basis of his, how he got inspired to do his research? What was this inspiration? This mantra and one more mantra after. These were the two mantras from Upanishad which inspired the disciples to do his research and then prove it that what is written here is scientifically true. What he said, he remembered these verses while presenting to the scientists. He also presented these verses. He said, Eko Vashi Sarvabhutantarātma Ekam Rupam Bahudha Yakkaroti Tam Atmastam Yena Pashyanti Ila Tesam Sukham Shashvatam Netari. Okay. So now, what is the main statement here in this mantra? In the last part, he says the eternal happiness belongs to those. That means, like, one can be in a state of eternal happiness, unending happiness, permanent happiness, Shashvatam Sukham. Okay. When that person has the realization of the Isha. Who is that Isha? What is his nature? He is Eka. He is alone. Eka means alone. So he is alone. He carries in his consciousness, pure consciousness, the unity and oneness. He is able alone. In Vashti. Vashti means like he has the power to keep everything under control. Yes. So he can do that वशीकरण everything. अपने वश में रखने का सामर्थ्य है. So far. Okay, ego वशी. But is that ego वशी somewhere living in some other world? No. He said, Sarvabhutantara. He is in Sarvabhuta Antaratma. He is present at the core of everything and being. Sarvabhuta Antaratma. सबके भीतर वो है. Right? Sarva Bhutantara, and he Ekam Rupam Bahudha Karoti. And even though he is alone, he is one, absolute, he has the power to manifest himself in infinite forms. Ekam Rupam Bahudha Karoti. Suddenly he alone, and you will find he is getting multiple. Okay. Then it said, Tam him Atmastham Yena Pashyanti Dhira. The Dhira. Who are the Dhira? Those who are the steady ones. Those who never get deviated, agitated, okay, by any circumstance. They remain calm and silent in all situations. And those leaders who have realized that Eka, that Vashi, that Sarva Bhutantaratma within themselves, yet Anupashyanti, those who see that Supreme Atmastham residing in themselves, Tesham Sanskritam Sukham Nitayesham. The eternal happiness belongs to them and no one else, not people. So, ultimate message of the Upanishad is to have this conviction, this realization that the Supreme lives in everything and being, is at the core of everything and being, and the purpose of life is to be in eternal happiness, and to be in eternal happiness, one to be in eternal relationship with Ishvara who is eternally present within everyone at the core of everything. Okay, so this is the mantra from Kathopanishad. Let's repeat the word Eko Vashi Sarvabhutantaratma Ekam Rupam Bahudha Yakaroti Tam Atmastham Yenu Pashyanti Dhira Tesham Sukham Sashrutam Nekaresham. Once again, Eko Vashi Sarva Bhutantaratma Ekam Rupam Bahudhaya Karuti Tamatmastham Yenu Pashyanti Dhira Tesham Sukham Sashwatam Netaresham. Okay, so now line by line. Eko Vashi Sarva Bhutantaratma Ekam Rupam Bahudhaya Karoti Tamatmastham Yenu Pashyanti Dhira Tesham Sukham Sashwatam Nekaresham. Okay, so now I recite line by line. You repeat after me. Then we do it all together. एको वशी सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा एको वशी सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा एकं रूपं बहुधा यः करोति तमात्मस्थं येन पश्यन्ति धीराः तेषां सुखं शाश्वतं नेतरेषाम् तेषां सुखं शाश्वतं नेतरेषाम् Once again, एको वशी सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा एको एकं रूपं बहुधा यः करोति बहुधा तमात्मस्थं येन पश्यन्ति धीराः तमात्मस्थं येन पश्यन्ति धीराः तेषां सुखं शाश्वतं नेतरेषाम् तेषां सुखं शाश्वतं नेतरेषाम्. Okay. So we'll do it all together, beginning with Om and ending with Om. Huh? It's not with you. The whole world. You are reading the Roman script. Okay, so can you squeeze it? एकं पुरुषं बहुधा करोति तामस्पस्थं येन पश्यन्ति धीराः तेषां सुखं शाश्वतं नेतरेषाम्. एको वशी सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा एकं रूपं बहुधा यः करोति पश्यन्ति धीराः तेषां सुखं शाश्वतं नेतरेषाम्. ॐ now advance. What we are going to do, listen, listen what we are going to do. after love. After love. So there are 18 teams. Each. So the leader of the group will come, or anyone from the group. You choose your own. Goes and then picks up one chain. Listen, picks up one chain. Okay, so what did I say? What did I say? Listen carefully. What I'm going to say, otherwise you will miss the point. You will miss the fun in the next session if you are not listening. Session is going to be fun. We are going to do but how are you going to arrange the flowers? So here there are some numbers. Suppose your number comes 10. So in the list, there is a description of what is the design that you have to create using flowers. Okay. And these designs are based on the Upanishadic realization. You will learn lot of symbols of the Upanishads and then create those symbols. Take a picture and show it to others that I have created. Okay, in the cloud. Are you ready to do? Yes, sir. Interested to do? Enthusiastic enough to do? Have the energy to do? Today is the day of Mahakali. Mahakali doesn't say yes. Mahakali will say yes, yes, sir. Okay. So have that Mahakali pose. So the different symbol. For example, I'll say, listen. Example, there is a beautiful description which says, Pranavadhanu Samuhi Atma Brahma Lakshamuchyate Apramakten Vedhavyam Sarabhadra Karmayo. Beautiful message. What it says? This is the Om is the Dhanu. Dhanu means the bow. The bow. Okay. Sarohi Atma. Your Atman is the arrow. What is the target? Brahman is the target. Okay. And hit the target without being deviated. With full concentration, hit the target, Brahman. So Atman becomes penetrated in the Brahman. And Om is the bow. Your Atman is the arrow. Brahman is the target. How are you going to create this? You can draw it first on a paper, and following that drawing, your group will, it is a group activity. So we want to see beautiful 12 designs. And where are you going to do the design? Okay. We'll do it in the podium. Beautiful design. Right? So that it comes out. Okay. It comes out, the design. So the description of this is given. If you have doubt, I'm explaining to you all the symbol, then we do. Like we will take a longer time to do it. Then we will do after the group is same, 12 groups. Okay. And who is the leader today? The leader of the day. You are the leader. So you have to take care that everyone is maintaining silence. Okay. And then everyone is following. So now we depart for lunch. 3 seconds of silence, then we play. Okay.